Sam Shetar of Shetar Training made a video response to one of his comments asking if deadlift is a good bodybuilding exercise for hypertrophy. You'll see me, the first video, I pulled 675 pounds as a 21-year-old, and then you see what my back looks like. And given I'm a natural powerlifter, I don't even bodybuild, but deadlifts have been a big part of my training for a long time. And I attribute most of my back thickness and density to deadlifts, especially conventional deadlifts. Deadlifting very heavy, like 7 plates conventional or 600 for reps, or even going heavier for reps, like you're about to see. You're about to see my back progression as I deadlift very heavy weight and mostly conventional deadlifts. So I would say yes, conventional deadlifts or deadlifting in general, you're gonna have a big, really dense, really powerful looking back. Because deadlift, it's a pulling exercise. You're using all your posterior chain and you're just pulling as much weight as possible from the floor. And that's gonna give you a big back. And back you use to lock out heavy weights on deadlifts. Like now you saw 2 videos. First video, me pulling 715 when I was lean. You saw what my back looked like. This is me doing my all-time best is 750 for 2 reps. And you'll see what my back looks like. I just look extremely powerful. Deadlift is a test of strength for a reason. It's one of the best tests of strengths to determine strength, deadlifts, especially conventional deadlift. Sumo deadlift is a good test of strength, but sumo deadlift is mostly built on technique. But you could also be a strong squatter, a strong bencher, and still strong on conventional deadlifts or sumo deadlifts. But it's a lift allowed in powerlifting, so you have to pull with your leverages at the end of the day. Not everyone's built to conventional deadlift. But in strongman, conventional deadlift is one of the main movements. And strongman is all about being the strongest ever. And the heaviest conventional deadlifters are all compete in strongman when you take grip out of the equation with straps. And we have many 1,000-pound deadlifters who can to deadlift conventional. And you'll see my back development. And what says strength more than a big back? Nothing does. You'll see my development. And with deadlift, it's one of the best tests of strength. So if you have a big back, even in the wild, all the biggest animals, biggest gorillas, they have big backs. And what builds that? Lifting something heavy from the ground, deadlift. Now you see Ashton Ruska, one of the best tested powerlifters ever. He's deadlifting 7 plates for reps, 675 for reps. He did it as a teenager. And this is what his back looked like as a teenager. And now he's like next level. Larry Wheels, of course, we all know who he is. And he built his back exclusively from deadlifts mostly. He had like one of the craziest backs ever as a powerlifter, rivals IFBB pros. And Pete Rubich, of course. He's like basically just one of the main guys currently post 2010 that got many lifters into deadlifts and powerlifting. He's known for the deadlift, having a very strong deadlift. Look at his back. And then, of course, Eric Lillybridge, who was really at the top of his game. The whole Lillybridge family they're like the strongest lifters. Deadlifting 926, conventional, no straps. And he's built like a bodybuilder, jacked, because conventional deadlift. And you'll see his back right here. See how strong he looks. And of course, Ronnie King Coleman. That viral 800 for 2 reps deadlift video. Like the first very strong lifting video I've ever seen when I got into lifting. And he had the best back of all time next to Dorian Yates in bodybuilding. And one of the strongest deadlifters ever in strongman, Ivan Markov. I don't know if I said his last name right, but he has like probably the biggest back in strongman, or the biggest back who's not a bodybuilder. So yes, deadlift, you could, and you'll see why. You'll see his back. And yes, deadlift is great for hypertrophy. Powerlifters do it. Bodybuilders like Ronnie Coleman do it. And Ronnie had the best back of all time next to Dorian Yates. And I've done it. Other powerlifters do it. And they all have some of the thickest, most dense backs in human existence. So yes, if you want, there are other ways to get big backs, like doing rows and pull-ups and posterior chain work. But if you want to just do one exercise, do your deadlift for a big back, get them strong, high reps, heavy weight.